Hello and welcome. I'm Alexa. This is my real life. I had mentioned in my last video I was going to talk about the Doctor Who season finale. Probably was going to talk about it today, and I've just been thinking about topics I wanted to do and have started and stopped, and vulnerability and things that happen when you've suffered abuse and the things you do that carry through in your life. And I might keep the Doctor Who for another video. Someone I know and care about is going through something, and while our situations were not the same, there's parallels that make it very easy to understand the fear, the pain, the frustration, the need to try and do something, even if it's symbolic, maybe. It got me thinking about my own situation. The last contact I had with my mother was 6.5 years ago. It'll be 6.5 years, early July. And prior to that, there was another stretch of time in my life where I had no contact with her. And I know there's a lot of people who will have absolutely no way to understand why I have to make the decision I have made to have no contact. I know that it can sound extreme to people who have not lived through the things that I have lived through, the things that my family have lived through. There's a lot of questions I ask myself on a semi-regular basis. I don't think about this all day, every day. I made my decision many years ago, and I struggled with that decision. It was a decision I should never have been forced to make as a 13-year-old. And I blamed myself because of that decision. I put the blame on me for a lot of what our family went through, which was ridiculous because looking back, there were really no other options. It was presented as a decision to me, but it wasn't truly. I really didn't have a choice. It was like a false narrative on it being a choice. And I tried. I set up some very, very simple boundaries. If you cross these, I'm done. Just don't talk about these people. Anything you give me is a gift. If you ever attach a string to it, done. And that was basically it. And those boundaries were tested many times. And each time I responded by stepping back, got an apology. But a lot of what I was doing in terms of maintaining contact was actually to make it easier on someone else in my life, so that they didn't get blamed for not relaying information about me to my mom. If I was visiting, and they didn't tell her, there was a lot of what I did and sort of maintained to make that easier. And maybe that's just something I'm telling myself, but from my perspective, that was what I was doing and how I was acting and how I was choosing to proceed. And then she couldn't help herself. I genuinely don't think she understands that what she has done repeatedly to so many people in her life is wrong. I think in her brain, she actually believes that what she has done has been right, justified. And if she doesn't understand that her actions are wrong and why they're wrong, there's no way for her to change it. And if she cannot change, that does leave me two choices. Accept constant abuse or walk away from it. I don't wish that choice on anyone. I see people in my life who have parents that are just both parents. Mums who are wonderful. And I wish that for everyone. I wish that for myself. I wish that for the little girl I used to be. And then I look at other things in my life. The relationships I have with my friends, with my family. I look at the things that make me feel loved, my love languages. And I look at the differences in the people I love, in their love languages, and how to them doing something or not doing something is based on their language. And I kind of wish, and maybe they are, again, you can only talk from your own perspective and what it feels like, but feelings aren't necessarily facts, right? Feelings are normally not facts. Sorry. Feelings are just feelings. And I wonder if they realize when they're doing something how much they hurt me. I then wonder how much of what they are doing or not doing is imagined in my brain because there's spaces, right? You don't know how much someone is thinking about you. You don't know how much someone is talking about you in any terms, but glowing terms if they're your friend and they love you, right? You don't know how much they're thinking, how much they're doing. And in their brain thinking, oh, I'm doing all this stuff for that person. We don't know that. And then I wonder how much of this I should share. But this is the stuff that when other people have shared it, when I was younger, it was the stuff that made me realize that I was okay. I was normal. I had a way forwards into a future. And I'm so appreciative of those people who were brave enough, despite even worse social pressure not to, for speaking up when they did. And I just hope that regardless of anything I'm going through, that I can continue to find my courage, to share my voice and my story. And my story is my own, It's not my family's, it's not my friends. There may be things that we have experienced similarly, but we're all different people. So what I remember, there are huge gaps in my childhood memories, and that is a trauma response. But what I do remember is a mixture. Abusers can make you feel like you are the most special thing in the world. When they're being nice to you, and you just want that again when things aren't going well. You're like, but they can be so kind. What did I do to make them not be kind to me today, right? That's how our brains sort of work. What changed? If it must have been something I did that changed them. And that's not true. They hide who they are. And bringing a light to their abuse, their actions, they don't think we're strong enough to do that. Well, I might be here crying, but I am strong enough to talk about my life, my feelings, my experiences. I am strong enough to say that what happened was unacceptable. And I am strong enough to stand in the face of anyone who tries to tell me that I am wrong on this point and say, no, I'm not. You may not understand why I have no contact with my mother. You don't have to understand. I ask that you have empathy for the people who are hurt. Because the hurt never stops, no matter what. It is a grief that will be with me my whole life. And there are days, many days, that I am okay. Many, many days. And there are days that it hits me, especially when I see others suffering in a similar way. Sorry. I hope that they know. And if you are suffering in this way, I hope you know. There are people who are fully rooting for you and supporting you in doing what you need to stay safe and to heal. And that by even taking a tiny step when it is nigh on impossible to take that step, that is proof that you are strong and you can make it. If you made it this far, thank you. Be kind to yourself.